this is another thing that I'm not quite understanding, because people are like, oh, well, PK has the means to pay for the note on the home that he's not living in. Let me just say something really quick. He has the means, she has the means. We're sitting here and we're fighting for feminism, and everybody's equal, and we want to all be equal. Then, girl, when you get a $2 million paycheck, don't go and spend $1.3 million on Hermes, Chanel, Gucci, everything but your kids. You know what? You want to be so equal? Start paying your mortgage note. Because I think that's absolutely annoying. And if he's not living in the house, well, it is his responsibility to take care of his children, which I think is exactly what he's doing when they are with him. Or, I mean, I don't know. But it's not his responsibility divorcing you to take care of you unless the court says, oh, well, there's alimony. And right now, you're not at that point. So, no. It's no one else's responsibility except for yours, Dorit. Pay your mortgage if you want a home.
If you thought the drama on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was intense this season, what's happening between Dorit Kemsley and Paul Kemsley, better known as PK, may honestly be one of the messiest divorce battles Bravo has seen in years. This is no longer just a celebrity breakup. It has now turned into a public financial war involving court filings, luxury spending accusations, foreclosure threats, emotional parenting conversations, leaked financial details, and both sides accusing the other of manipulation. Once you start putting all the pieces together, the situation feels much bigger than ordinary reality TV drama. Underneath all the headlines, what viewers are really watching is the collapse of a marriage, a lifestyle, and an image that many people spent years believing was glamorous and untouchable.
Dorit Kemsley and PK's divorce is messy, messy, messy as all of their text messages and finances keep getting outed. Now, to be clear, these are not personal leaks, so it's not Dorit or PK that are leaking any of this information. It's all from the court docket in their divorce proceedings. And it just came out that Dorit is pissed that she had to pay for the electricity and gas bill recently. And she also claimed that she didn't know that PK wasn't paying their mortgage payments and that the house is now in foreclosure. And now this is all starting to look bad for both of them. So it's now been revealed that Dorit made $3.5 million and PK made just a little under that. So he's trying to say that she makes more than him, which, listen, I think it's totally within the realm of possibility that PK may be hiding some money, or maybe there's some money that's not his personally, that's maybe in some LLCs or, you know, a business here or there, or maybe something back in England. I wouldn't put it past PK to be maybe hiding some of his finances. But this whole thing about Dorit complaining about having to pay for the household bills, I don't think is a good look, because she's the one living in that house, not him. And her trying to frame this as like, well, he's hurting the kids by doing this, like they're her kids too. And I'm sorry, but Dorit making $3.5 million seems pretty sufficient for her to be able to take care of the household bills. However, what we're seeing is that she actually spent $1 million on luxury retail shopping. So this is where I see Kyle and Erica's frustration with her on Beverly Hills this season. Because not only is Dorit spending lavishly on the show, but she's also bashing PK every chance she gets. And if your ex was bashing you on a TV show, on a national platform, calling you an alcoholic and a deadbeat dad and all these things, right? She's framing as this really bad guy on national television while also expecting him to pay for all of her bills. Yeah, I'd be kind of pissed too. Listen, I'm not saying that he's right to withhold any of the mortgage payments or to not pay the utilities for her and his kids, but Dorit is certainly not poor if she's making $3.5 million. And she can't really call him a deadbeat dad when she herself is also capable of paying those bills, but doesn't want to either. And instead would rather buy a new Kelly bag or 4 Gucci purses when she's in Italy. Listen, to be clear, PK is no prize in any of this, but Dorit is doing herself no favors, which I think was part of Kyle and Erica's frustration and what they were trying to help her avoid with all of this. And now here we are. I don't know. What do you think? Drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts.
For years, Dorit and PK represented what many fans saw as the Beverly Hills dream. Designer fashion, luxury vacations, expensive homes, lavish parties, beautiful children, and a lifestyle that looked polished and glamorous from the outside. Even when rumors about money problems surfaced over the years, somehow the image of Dorit and PK always survived. Now, however, that image appears to have cracked completely. According to recent court filings and reports, Dorit and PK are now locked in an ugly dispute involving money, housing, parenting, and what appears to be a complete breakdown of trust. At the center of the fight is their roughly $6 million Encino home, which RHOBH viewers watched for years on the show. PK reportedly wants the house sold immediately, arguing that mortgage concerns and financial pressure have made the situation unsustainable. According to filings, he claims Dorit failed to make mortgage payments and only contributed minimally toward utility bills, despite living in the home with the children since the separation.
Dorit Kemsley is now accusing PK of shutting off utilities at their $6 million home, while PK is accusing Dorit of involving their child in their financial disputes. I think we can all agree that this divorce is getting uglier by the day. According to TMZ, Dorit's legal team allegedly sent an email that was later filed by PK as part of their divorce case, and in that email, Dorit's side claims, quote, "First and foremost, contrary to PK's representations, Dorit has always been agreeable to placing the house on the market as long as reasonable protections are in place," end quote. The filing also reportedly said that Dorit requested adequate financial support, including an immediate $50,000 payment. Then the email gets even more intense. According to TMZ, Dorit's team wrote, quote, "PK readily admits that he can pay the mortgage. However, he simply does not want to do so because he wants to starve out his spouse to force a sale of the home where his children live. PK's intentional use of financial gamesmanship has placed Dorit and the children in a constant state of uncertainty by design," end quote. TMZ also reports that Dorit's lawyer accused PK of leaving the gas, the electricity, the internet, and other essential services unpaid for an extended period of time, and claims that Dorit had to step in and cover those bills herself to avoid disruptions. Now, sources connected to PK completely dispute Dorit's version of events. According to TMZ, those sources claim PK paid the household bills for years and only recently stopped because of Dorit's alleged spending habits and the ongoing foreclosure situation involving the house. And then there's the other ugly part of the story, because PK also filed documents alleging that Dorit involved one of their children in the financial disputes between them. According to the filing, PK claims that their child allegedly texted him asking about paying for a spring break trip and referenced Dorit paying for everything. I'm not going to read those messages in full because it involves texts that are allegedly from one of their kids, but again, the texts were reportedly submitted by PK as evidence in the case. If you want to read them, they're on TMZ's website or on attorney Ronald Richards' Instagram. The messages were allegedly sent around 10:30 at night, and honestly, it's just sad seeing a child seemingly pulled into adult financial issues that are now part of a very public and toxic divorce case. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think both Dorit and PK are escalating this way too publicly at this point? And do you think this divorce has crossed a line now that the children are allegedly becoming part of the filings and accusations? Let me know in the comments.
That is where the story begins feeling far less like celebrity gossip and much more like emotional warfare. Dorit's legal team is now pushing back aggressively. According to court documents, Dorit claims PK is exaggerating the threat of foreclosure and intentionally using financial pressure as a divorce tactic. Her attorneys reportedly described the situation as a starve-out strategy, accusing PK of purposely creating instability and refusing to continue financial obligations to emotionally pressure her into agreeing to sell the house. That accusation changes the tone of the situation completely, because now this is no longer simply about disagreements over money. Dorit's side is essentially accusing PK of using housing security and financial stress as leverage during the divorce. When children are involved, the emotional weight of the story changes even more. The financial numbers involved in the case have also shocked viewers. According to reports tied to court filings, PK claimed he earned roughly $887,180 between April 2025 and March 2026, averaging around $91,999 in monthly net income. He reportedly listed significant monthly expenses, including $16,500 for rent, thousands for groceries, utilities, healthcare, entertainment, and other major costs. At the same time, PK claimed Dorit herself earns at least $166,000 per month. For many viewers online, hearing numbers like that sounds unbelievable. Most people immediately wonder how anyone making 6 figures a month could possibly be struggling financially. However, Beverly Hills culture works differently. Massive mortgages, luxury vacations, designer wardrobes, expensive staff, private schools, cars, taxes, and the constant pressure of maintaining a public image create enormous financial obligations behind the scenes. Even people making large amounts of money can quickly feel pressure when the lifestyle grows larger than the income supporting it. That may honestly be one of the biggest reality checks in this entire situation. For years, viewers watched Dorit wearing Chanel, Hermès, Louis Vuitton, and couture fashion while projecting an image of endless luxury and financial success. Now, court filings reportedly accused Dorit of spending close to $1 million on wardrobe-related expenses over a relatively short period of time. According to reports, filings claim Dorit allegedly spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on designer fashion, while mortgage concerns surrounding the family home allegedly became increasingly serious. Predictably, the internet quickly split into opposing sides. Some viewers looked at those spending allegations and instantly blamed Dorit, arguing that she prioritized appearances and luxury over stability. Others defended her, pointing out that PK himself has faced financial controversy for years, and questioning whether he is now suddenly attempting to present himself as the financially responsible person in the relationship. That is what makes this situation feel so complicated. Neither side appears completely innocent. Instead, it increasingly feels like two people who may have become trapped inside a luxury image that quietly stopped matching reality behind closed doors. Perhaps that is one of the biggest things Real Housewives of Beverly Hills often hides from viewers. Beverly Hills has always sold the fantasy. Perfect homes, perfect marriages, perfect money, perfect vacations, and perfect lives. Situations like this remind viewers that behind designer clothes are still real marriages, real financial pressure, real emotional struggles, and real instability. Sometimes maintaining the image becomes more important than protecting the relationship itself. At the same time, despite all the ugly headlines, Dorit recently shared a much more emotional perspective on what she says matters most right now: motherhood. In an emotional update, Dorit reflected on raising her children, Jagger and Phoenix, while navigating her divorce from PK. She explained that she wants her children to feel protected, emotionally safe, and shielded from the adult world happening around them. Dorit admitted this chapter has challenged her deeply, but also clarified what matters most to her: protecting their peace, being present, and creating stability during uncertain times. Reading that side of the story feels genuinely sad, because behind every court filing and public accusation are still two children experiencing major changes in their family. That is often the part people online forget. Behind celebrity divorce headlines are real kids trying to make sense of a family dynamic shifting in real time. And whether viewers side with Dorit or PK, it seems obvious that both are now fighting over what stability for their children should look like moving forward. What also makes the situation more complicated is that Dorit recently admitted during the RHOBH reunion that things between her and PK had actually improved somewhat after years of tension. She even said she felt hopeful discussing where their relationship currently stood. That makes the legal battle feel even more confusing, because publicly there are moments suggesting some level of peace, while privately through legal filings the situation still appears incredibly hostile. The glamorous image finally cracked, and underneath it appears to be years of financial pressure, emotional distance, resentment, and instability that viewers never fully saw until now.